Yo, what's up? It's Seth Moran here from Monster Capital. Really excited to have Alaa Moussa with us today.
Thank you.
From Supercar Blondie Exchange. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Normally I'm talking about, slinging stocks or bonds or commodities or ETFs, mutual funds, or how to invest by age. Check out that video right here. But today we're actually going to be breaking down a little something different. Usually a wealth killer and a destroyer of your hard-earned cash. But today we're going to be talking about investing in cars.
Yes.
Which for me is a side hobby. I'm definitely a petrol head if you know me. I've had a lot of cool ass cars and I dig it, and I've made money on cars and I've broke even on cars. And honestly, that's your best bet. If you can break even on a super awesome car, then you're
good.
You're good. So today we're just talking about some of the cars that we could actually invest in right now for not so much money that would really appreciate in the future.
Okay.
Because some of these cars, if you look at like what happened with the F40 recently and the F50,
just exploding in price,
exploding in value. So basically, I want to talk a little bit about how to look at a car as an investment. So from my perspective, my hierarchy comes engine first. It's the engine, and then whatever's built around it is fine. So whether it's naturally aspirated, you get that turbocharged engine.
That's right.
You're looking at, is it tuned up, stage 1 to stage 3 tuning? What kind of raw power does it have? Then I look at kind of handling. So how does it handle? Is it, pin your ears back, straight line, kind of like, is it all-wheel drive? Is it rear-wheel drive? What's the difference? Why should I care? And like, how does it feel in a corner? And then like, thirdly, I look at like, how does it look?
Yeah.
Is it just a trend, or is it a timeless classic? Is it something that people are going to like for the next 25 years?
Right.
So what do you think about that stuff? And kind of talk about a little bit about your experience and why you're such a UAE car legend, and how you found yourself at one of the top influencers auction site.
I really appreciate this opportunity. First of all, thank you for having me.
Please, man.
And I've been working in the car business since I was a kid. About 15 years old, I started with my dad. He's kind of a pioneer too. He started working in the 90s, and he imported some crazy cars just before dealerships started opening up in the UAE and such. And I fell in love. The first time you see a Ferrari, or you sit in a Ferrari, a Testarossa, you get charmed immediately. So I think that's where I got addicted. And I've been in the business ever since. We've switched dealerships and so on. And
I'm excited to hear it. When you said a Ferrari Testarossa, I kept thinking back to my trapper keeper in high school.
Yeah.
And the poster above my bed. It was a red.
You had a Testarossa?
Red Testarossa.
Man.
And then on the other side of the wall, I had the Lamborghini Countach. And I also had the Lamborghini Countach remote control car.
That's a good duo. That's a good duo. But yeah, the Testarossa is just, if you're not into cars and you see the Testarossa, it's just, it can switch you very fast.
I mean,
Right.
I had a white one, Miami Vice, all that stuff. Like, for me, a Testarossa was the epitome of a fast Italian sports car.
Absolutely. And going back to your engine conversation, the more original and raw, the more hard work goes into an engine. And when it starts to get limited and less cars are on the market, then that's where that becomes a very important factor in evaluating the car. That's what really makes the car very desired and raises the value.
For sure, it's scarcity.
Yes.
Right, that's a
absolutely
big thing. And that becomes like, it puts it in that collector category.
Yes. So the V12s, the W12s, and the V8s now, especially with the hybrid and all of the EV cars coming in, there's less and less. And those cars that are out there, sometimes they have an accident or they're out of commission. So even less cars are there. And that's what really moves the value up.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's like some of these car makers like Ferrari, Porsche, I mean, you could argue they're kind of losing their identity a bit, because they're moving from like these naturally aspirated beasts, like,
Yes.
You could say the 458 Speciale by Ferrari is probably the best naturally aspirated V8 engine ever built.
Absolutely.
And now we're looking at the 296, which is fast. It's a V6, but honestly, who cares? Like, I just don't care. Like, if you're looking at an investment, I wouldn't go for a 296. I wouldn't go for some of these modern Ferraris.
And they dropped in price Significantly.
Yeah.
You
Look
know,
at the SF90. The SF90
Yeah.
was $1 million car, and you can get that for half.
Yes.
It's a 1,000 horsepower car.
yes, absolutely.
It's the same as a LaFerrari.
And I would say also the Taycan, they suffered, their prices are just suffering. And
If my viewers here, I've mentioned in every video I've done that's talked about a depreciating asset, about my Tesla Model 3 Performance I bought in 2001. I drove for 3 years and I lost 60% on that. And it only had 14,000 kilometers, no accidents, beautiful. Everything's specced out.
yeah, yep. Can you imagine like now with the Cybertruck and all of those?
I mean, they call them rich
Restrictions.
for a reason. I mean, after a certain amount of time, there's no appreciating value in it.
No.
So you would never buy that new.
No, absolutely. I mean, if I was to give any kind of financial advice, don't buy that stuff new.
No.
That's just don't go to a dealer and buy, hey, I want a brand new car. Just say, go look at the secondary market, something clean, something with a warranty.
I got to tell you, man, you're giving me kind of anxiety talking about EVs and buying EVs because I lost so much damn money on that piece of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fast as hell, but I'll be honest, it didn't have a soul. I went from an AMG C63S to that, and I was like, that V8 in the 2016 C63S that's one of my favorite V8s.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I just bought the 2018 GLE 63S, which you helped me get new tires and all that stuff. So I'm pretty grateful for that.
No worries.
But yeah, that's like that sound of that engine, that gurgle, that pop, that like.
Yep. It's what
guttural
the
roar.
market wants. It's what the people want. People want an engine. They want to hear it. They want to feel it. Real car lovers, enthusiasts, collectors, and these guys determine if a vehicle is an investment or not.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are willing. They are the ones that create this market liquidity and this available money that if you have a collector car, they'll buy it from you. They want an engine.
Yeah.
An EV will never become a collector's.
I can't see it. Yeah.
It
I
will
mean,
never be.
I can't see how that would ever be a desirable car. Maybe the first Tesla, the little Roadster, which
not even that.
it started appreciating value. I mean, there's some that like have low miles that have like gone for way over what it was brand new.
It could be maybe the hype, maybe it's the first car, yeah, but I don't see it happening. Maybe in 1,000, 2,000 years from now, these cars will be something, but not now, not anytime soon.
Yeah, 1,000 years. All right, so let's talk about some of like the top investment cars that you can get right now that wouldn't necessarily break the budget, but I'm not saying like, it's $20,000. I mean, these things are still going to cost around 100K to 200K in that range.
Yeah.
Why don't we start in Italy and see how we go from there? We'll make our way across the world.
Sure.
How's that sound?
Yep.
So in Italy, let's kick off with Ferraris.
Sure.
Some of the cars right now that I think are gaining a lot of traction and are still reasonable. Like you could start with the 360 Modena, right? Like that's an amazing car.
Yep.
Right now, you can probably get a flappy paddle for around 100K with less than 20,000 miles on it. You can look at Auto Trader. I'll throw some pics of some of these that are available right now, so I'm not bullshitting you. I think that's an amazing engine. It's a great V8 engine.
Yep.
I don't know if you have anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Naturally aspirated, and just go manual. As long as it's a manual gear, price is gonna go up.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
That's the key, guys. So if it's
that's the rule.
On some of these older cars that are like, that are, particularly older Ferraris, you can go through all the different brand makers. If it's a manually gated transmission, then the car nuts will always flock to that. It's more fun to drive.
Absolutely. And of course, the condition of the car is very important. But yes, Ferraris, I think that one is a great car for investment. It's not expensive now.
Yeah, it's manually gated. It's how much? About 150?
I would say you can start around even $80,000.
For manual?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
If you're really good at it, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, maybe you can. I can't. I'm getting quoted 150. Yeah.
Yeah, but it can go up to 180, 200 sometimes. It really depends on the condition. You want to buy a car that has a good condition, even if you pay a little bit more of a premium now, but that's the one that will be a good investment for you.
Yeah. How about like the 430? that's a cool car. It probably doesn't sound
very
as
good
nice
car.
as the 360, but it's still
Yeah.
it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks better than the 360, I think.
Yes, absolutely. It kind of gives you a little bit
Better
of
engine.
modern feel to it.
Yeah.
It also has that V8 naturally aspirated engine, so it's really it's a great car for investment. I think the Scuderia goes around to $350,000, something like that.
You can get the convertible too, the 16M, and that's dope. But yeah, they're more expensive. That is almost the same engine in the 458, right? If I'm not mistaken. But it is, 430 is underrated. You don't have to go for the Scuderia. You can go with the base model. Again, I would suggest go for the manual gated transmission.
Of course, always.
But yeah, I mean, it's in the last line of like the beastly V8s that Ferrari was making until they lost the plot with the European emission guidelines that have just
they keep messing things
cut
up.
the balls
for
off
everybody.
Ferrari and every other car maker.
Yeah, but that's a really good car for investment. It's you can buy it now. It's still affordable, and like I said, they keep running out. There's even less and less every day.
Yeah. So let's talk about the next one that I want to talk about. This is not in the 200K range, okay? No. But arguably this is my most favorite car and many investors' favorite car. How about you?
It's my favorite car for sure.
My favorite, by far.
Yeah.
Country Mile. If I could have this car and nothing else, I would do it. I would make it into a daily driver. I would put the kids one in the trunk, one on my wife's lap, and I'd strap the dog to the roof. But the car is the 458 Special.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And right now this car is going for 700,000 plus in the US on low miles. So we're talking under 10,000 miles. It's arguably the best V8 ever created.
Yes, I think it's going to go to 1.5 million anytime soon because these type of Ferraris have been appreciating super fast.
Yeah.
I think what's happening in the world and the economy, these type of vehicles now are looked at as an investment, especially the low mileage ones. And Ferrari did a really good job with the 458.
Oh, it's the last Pininfarina design, right? So it's just the most exquisite, beautiful car.
Absolutely. And if you can get your hands on one that is, you said 10,000 kilometers, the one?
Yeah, 10,000, so like, what, 7,000 miles?
Yeah, I think you can even find lower kilometers than that. And
but I think then you start going up in price value. And honestly, for an under 10K car, the difference between 10K and 5K is like, whatever. Yeah. Like it's some love got put on the car.
It's the golden rule. Anything below 1,000 kilometers is just a different level. So the price can jump significantly.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything above 1,000, you can find in that range, but it's considered new. Yeah, below 1,000. So if you can find one, then for sure buy it. That's my advice.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. And for all my American viewers looking at this video, I'll put the conversions on the screen because, if I wasn't living overseas for so long, man, hearing like 100K, 1,000K kilometers, like I'd be tripping. I wouldn't know what the hell's going on. So I'll put those conversions on the screen. But the one thing I do want to point out just on that 458 Special is that they are going for $700,000 plus in the US. You look at Auto Trader, you look at DuPont, you look at like all these different Robs, whatever it may be. But for everyone out there, I'm going to show you a place where you can get them for $500,000, and they're completely vetted, amazing quality, and I will share that with you. I mean, if you're an investor with that much change on hand that you're looking to buy, that you think, from my previous experience, I never speak in definitive statements ever, and that even though that is a definitive statement in and of itself. However, I will say, at $500,000, this thing will be at $1 million in the next 2-3 years. So that is an investment. If you don't think you can double your money in the next 2-3 years, this is something that you have to take possession of. You can put in storage.
It looks good too.
It looks amazing. Yeah. And it is just one of the most beautiful cars, and it's probably going to be one of the most collectible cars outside of like the F1 or the special hypercars selection.
So, Agreed.
Anyway, check it out. I'll put it on the screen. Let me know what you think.
I'm curious now to see that.
It's car sensor. It's Japan cars, man. Yeah. I'm a Japan guy. I know how to find Japanese cars.
I know you are, yeah.
I've hooked you up with a couple cars in Japan.
You did, yes.
But yeah, if you look at carsensor.net, which is where I geek out, hit the translate button on your Internet Explorer. If you can't, Internet Explorer, on your Safari, whatever you may be looking at. If you can't read Japanese, I mean, I can barely read Japanese. So take a look at it, see what you think, and scroll through. A lot of the time when people go to the bathroom, they'll read the news. When I go to the bathroom, and it's
you do. I just watch YouTube.
You just watch my YouTube videos. Yeah, I just look up cars. That's all I did. That's what I do when I'm bored. I look up cars, and I just see where cars are trading globally. I look at like what's going on in Switzerland. I look what's going on in UAE, Japan. I look at Hong Kong. I look at US, and that's where I try to find value. I love arbitrage. A lot of viewers know about arbitrage. It's the difference between two of the same assets in different regions at different prices. So I love arbing things out, and I love where I can make a quick buck. There you go. You can do it too.
Awesome.
Let's continue it up. This time we're going to stick to the country shaped like a boot and just check out Lamborghini. Right? I love Lambos. So what do you think about the Gallardo?
I think it's also a very good one to invest in. It's cheap. It's not expensive. If you can get your hands on a low kilometers, I think also, like you mentioned earlier, in Japan, there's a lot of good Gallardos out there. Yes. And the arbitrage is
fairly driven too.
Yes. A country that loves them is Sweden. Yeah. They just love Lambos. They're more expensive than anywhere else almost in Sweden.
Really?
So yeah, if you can get your hands on a Japanese Lambo and just send it to Sweden.
Ship it to the Bjorgens. Yeah, and then that's a great idea. I mean, Sweden, if you are looking to kind of get a car, get a Lambo, and you want to get a cheap Lambo, maybe you just...
This is a message to Sweden, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dear Sweden, talk to my boy, Alaa, and he can help you out.
But it's a great car. It's, like I said, you can buy it. It's affordable, and I think it's going to increase in value. They did also a good job on the Gallardos, more than I think the Aventadors in terms of appreciation. I think it's just because there's such a big gap between buying an Aventador and buying a Gallardo.
Oh yeah, so price discrepancy is huge. I mean, even if you go in the later ones, you go Diablo, Murcielago. I'd rather have probably a Murcielago.
Me too.
That's dope. But having this baby Lambo Gallardo, it's got a V10. It doesn't break down. I mean, they were from 2007.
Somewhere in 2007 to all the way to 2015. Like that.
I'll put the dates up on the screen, but that sounds right. But I mean, that car. I mean, it's just an amazing driver. I actually. There's one story. So I was at work. I was at Deutsche Bank, and I'm sitting with next to my buddy who was in stock loan at the time. Which, if you know that business, great. It doesn't matter. The guy's name's Phil, right? So Phil came into the office, and he found a phone, and this phone belonged to a guy. We'll just call him Mike.
Okay.
And this guy Mike's pretty famous in the markets, and so Phil called him up. He's like, "Hey man, I found your phone in this taxi this morning," and I wasn't on the phone, but I was sitting next to him, so I saw his expression. He goes, "Oh mate, you're a legend. I'll be at your office. Where do you work? Deutsche? Okay, I'll be at Tamiya Kisano Tower, 4 p.m. Black Lambo. Can't miss me." And it was just like, dude, that's like, if you have a Lambo, that's how you got to talk. And it was a black Gallardo Spider.
Oh, wow, that's nice. That's nice.
Dude, it was a ridiculous car.
Yes.
And I knew the guy pretty well, so I was just chuckling, man. I mean, just the guy's larger than life. Still is to this day. But like some of the special versions of the Lambos that I think are dope, like obviously they ran the 550, the 560, 570.
Yep.
They had the all-wheel drive, the rear-wheel drive. In a Lambo, probably rear-wheel drive is more desired, manually gated rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Then you got the Performante and the Superleggera.
Superleggera would be the top.
Yeah, for sure.
Top one for choice. Yeah.
So rear-wheel drive, manually gated, and
that's it.
Yeah. I mean,
go manual.
Yeah, go manual. Go home.
That's it.
I mean, I do love flappy paddle, but I mean, it's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, if you want to look at it as an investment.
For sure. If investment, I mean, but for driving satisfaction, let's say you got a lot of traffic. No, man, I don't want it. Even though those clutches are like butter. I mean, then you got to replace the clutch. I mean, it gets kind of
yeah, exactly. No, but it's a great car, yeah, for sure. That would be from Italy. So we have 4 cars so far. The 360 Modena. You have the
430 F430,
F430, and the 458 Speciale.
Love that car.
And the Gallardo.
And the Gallardo. Any other cars from Lambo you want to talk about?
From Lambo, the Murcielago for sure. For sure. I mean, you can get that car now for $280,000, something like that.
Still cheap, right?
Still not cheap, but you can sell. I mean, a couple like these cars.
Trade's a trade.
You can hold it for a year and sell it for a profit.
Yeah.
You don't even have to hold it for that
long.
long.
You can probably put a couple Ks on it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But you just got to be careful, man. Like that battery goes down. Replacing the battery is a pain in the ass, and it's not cheap. So you gotta make sure you've got it plugged in.
Yeah,
you know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's not a piece of gold. You can just store it in the vault and go away. You gotta charge it. You gotta take care of it and spend money on it. I mean, I wouldn't. I wouldn't invest in a Bugatti Chiron, for example, because then you have to. Unless it's a very limited edition, it's a very special car, because you really have to spend a lot of money taking care of the car, and then down the line you spend the money that you made. Yeah, if you were to make any money.
It's just like turning on an AMG 1, and if you do it incorrectly in the wrong order, it just costs you $220,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know,
worth the risk.
Avoid that kind of shit. You don't need that as an investment. That is a pain in the ass.
That's right.
So yeah, let's head over on to Germany. Like some of these German beasts, man. Maybe like Audi. What do you think of the Audis? Maybe the RS versions.
I think yes, of course. I mean, the Audi is such a dependable company and product that Lamborghinis have always been working with them very closely.
Yeah, you see the Countach, man. They show a disaster.
Yes. I think the R8 is a great one. We have one, by the way, from Japan.
Oh, really?
Yes.
On SBX?
On SBX, yes. The Final Fantasy.
That's a rare one.
Really good. Yes, really rare car. If you're into the R8 and if you are in the Final Fantasy, I don't know if you're into Final.
I'm not in the Final Fantasy. Depends.
I don't know. I don't. To be honest with you, I'm not much of anime except the old school anime.
Like Akira.
I mean, Final Fantasy is old school.
Final Fantasy game, right? And so, that's where it comes from. But in Japan, they just geek out over that stuff. But like some of these like different editions, like on the R8, I mean, you had the GT in 2012, which was amazing. I think of all the R8s, that's probably my favorite. Was the GT, the one-off, because it had like a little bit of a matte white, like a Suzuka gray, or Suzuka gray.
Right.
And I think that with the black wheels, I think the GT R8 V10 5.2 was probably the best looking. And I wanted that so bad, man. I wanted that so bad. But I was just like, I got to be responsible. I ended up buying a Porsche 911 GTS convertible instead. But man. But I think the R8s are great. I think they got the V8 version, the 4.2 liter, and then you got the V10, so the 5.2.
Go for the V10.
If you're looking for fun, the V8's not a bad idea, but it's not going to go up in value, unfortunately. It looks good, but it is kind of poor man's version of the V10.
Yes.
So, I mean, I wouldn't... you can get the R8 V10 in a manually gated transmission as well. I think it looks sick. It's fun to drive. I've driven them. I've been driven in them. I smiled every single time. And it's not like a hypercar. It's not a supercar, but it's a damn good, damn cool car.
It is. And the thing about car valuation, sometimes it's also about the population. So as people... I think maybe our age, we have more disposable income. These cars become our collector cars. So that's
the iRobot car, man.
Yeah, exactly. iRobot and Iron Man, I think also.
Yeah, Iron Man. He dropped the release of the convertible, I think, when he was driving up to his jet.
Can you believe how much time's passed since Iron Man 1?
Dude, I can't even go there, man.
It's a great car for sure for investment.
Now, the other car maker I want to actually gloss over, and I'm a Porsche guy, but I want to gloss over it because they're super built up already. There's not much that you can go and buy, and like if you buy one, you probably won't lose money. Okay, if it's a 997 all the way down to 993s, including 964s, you're going to do fine. They're going to start to rejig the engines and make them a bit hybrid. And I think you kind of want to stay away from that. That's just my opinion.
Yes.
I am a Porsche guy through and through. Porsches are not supercars, but they are amazing cars. They are amazing. The GT3 RS, the new one, it's not the fastest car in a straight line, but it's the fastest car with turns, right?
Yes, for sure, for sure. You know, I find from my experience with the GT3 RS that the car started high demand, super expensive.
Oh yeah.
And now it's kind of
getting more reasonable.
It's easy to find. You can find it for a really good price. It's not that exclusive, you know.
Well, I mean, Porsche is you know, the whole thing with Porsche, and I don't really want to get into it in this video, but you know, it's similar to Rolex, where in order to get the Porsche model you want, you have to have bought 5 Porsches, 10 Porsches. I think it's a scam, and I don't like that with Rolex, and I don't like that with Porsche. And I just think it's a Ponzi scheme. You know? So I tried to buy a Porsche GT3 in Japan, and I was told I had to buy a Taycan, I had to buy this, and
definitely they're gonna sell you a Taycan.
I'm like, dude, the last thing I want is another EV brick in my house, or I have to get a different type of charger. You know, I wanted to avoid that at all costs. So that's why we're just going to gloss over Porsche. I know Porsches are great. They're amazing. I love them too. But, you know, if you get an older one, you probably won't lose money. Take care of it. Get it serviced. But I just don't want to talk about it because, like, everyone's talking about Porsches. You can go out there and get whatever you want. I want to talk about stuff maybe you're not talking about.
Yes.
So, for, like, I want to go into one of my favorite car brands, the car brand I've rocked a few times in my life. It's Mercedes AMG, which is like, that's my shit, man. Go George Russell. But yeah, so I like obviously everyone likes this car, but it's outside of the AMG SLR. The SLS with the gull wings, I think is going to be $1 million car very, very soon. You know, and I think it's going to appreciate just based on the gull wings and based on its engine. I mean, that engine is just guttural brute force. It sounds so damn good. And maybe I'll put a clip of the engine sound on it.
That's a good idea. That's definitely a good idea.
I want to hear it right now. But yeah, I mean, I think that car is just it's just going to continue to appreciate. It's expensive. I mean, you're talking like 200K range, but it is going to appreciate in value. It'd be $1 million in 10 years. That's my call on that.
I mean, you're right, but again, it comes down to the choice and the condition of the car. If you're looking at a Black Series or a Final Edition, then for sure that's a really good. I mean, I've seen a Black Series for a friend, and he started at $700,000.
Jeez.
Yeah, and now he's getting offers above $1 million, and he's not selling.
No, I wouldn't. I'm talking about the base model. I still think that's a great option.
Yes.
I know people who are buying like 10 to 20 of these and just storing them in a factory.
You know,
that's crazy. My jaw hit the floor when I heard that. It's like, you bought how many? And this guy's not the only one. So I think that there's something to be said about the SLS and just the amount that it's going to appreciate. If you look at the Mercedes old gullwing, that's one of the most expensive cars in the world.
Yes.
So like, I do think that there's going to be similarities in that. I don't think it's going to be a $20 million car, but I do think it'll be $1 million in less than 10 years. That's my call. Speaking of some of the AMGs, I want to talk about the V12 goodness, man. I want to talk about the G65, so the Gallardo wagon, and the 65, which had the V12, and also the SL65, which people don't really love. But if you're talking about engine, it's pretty amazing.
When they do it well. That's definitely the case with the AMG. Yeah, these cars are just, at this moment, they're not too expensive.
No, not at all. They're under 100K.
Yeah. So they would be a good, in the low kilometers and the good condition, that would be good cars to buy.
You could probably buy one. Like 60, 70K for a G65. Put 50,000 kilometers on it over the next few years and then sell it for the same price. I mean, that's a win. And the best thing about Gallardo wagons, the G wagons, is that they all have the same look. The facelift is whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Facelift is the same.
It's a little bit of
same.
small things, yeah.
I'll take the 1979 version, thank you. Like, it looks fine. It looks great.
It's true. It's true. Especially, you know, when the car comes from a temperate country like Japan.
Yeah.
The weather is so good. The, you know, eroding factors that
They
can
don't use salt on the roads. That's the other thing.
Right,
they use
that's,
hot water in the mountain towns. So you don't get that erosion on the underbelly of the car.
So yeah, that really plays a big role. And that's why we see cars from the 90s coming from Japan
for sure.
that look like so mint and so fresh. And these cars are the ones that you want to keep for investment.
You know, the other thing that you may not know about the Japanese is how well they take care of their cars.
Right.
I mean, it's like Sunday driving gloves. It's just, they drive them on the Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the thing is, like, I remember being told that, hey, Seth, you shouldn't drive a Ferrari into work because the people you work with are gonna get pissed off at you. So I was very aware of that.
Right.
And that was like a prohibitive factor for me driving a nice car into work.
Right.
Then I got to the point where I was running a team and I was like, my don't give a shit factor was pretty high. I was like, all right. And I was like popping in some sick cars. But I remember like one dude saw me coming out of the company parking lot. He's like, are they? You know, like, and I was like,
There's
hey,
a question mark that pops up.
hey, brother. Fuchs, that's you, man. I remember, Fuchs, you did that. But yeah, so
So you're saying that in Japan,
it's Sunday driving, it's car clubs, it's going up to the Toyo Tire Turnpike on the weekend and having a spin. Like that shit's...
It makes sense with
the mountain driving there is amazing. Going over the suspension bridges, like, you know, 500 feet above a valley. It's just insane.
Mm-hmm.
And driving on these winding roads, like, it's unmatched. It's unmatched.
Right.
The only problem is you're driving on the other side of the road, which I hate. You know, like, so yeah, it is what it is.
Well, for the SL65, you can find a lot of left-hand drive cars in Japan.
Yeah, I know.
So it's really easy to find these.
It's a great car.
Yeah.
And it sounds amazing.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Japan, let's switch into some of the Japanese icons.
GDMs.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, man? Walk me through, like, what do you think? I mean, obviously we're talking like Honda NSX.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
It's a really, really special car. We have one on SBX also right now. I think the Honda...
Is that the silver one?
That's the silver one,
yeah.
I think it's a really good car for investment as well. So I've seen a lot of people, I mean locals here in Dubai, purchasing from Japan Nissan Skylines.
Ah, the GTR.
And they buy it for
R34s or the new R35s or
R34s mostly, VTECs, and you know, they buy it for really good prices, and they ask. I mean, the market price now is going from $700,000. And
I've got a buddy with two of the rarest GTRs in Japan. I actually tried to hook you up with him at the Auto Salon show in Chiba. But yeah, I mean, his cheapest one is probably like 600, 700 US.
Yep.
But these things can appreciate. I mean, that same guy used to drive an R35 as well, and he blew the engine about 6-7 times. I think he had it tuned up to a 750, which isn't uncommon for a GTR R35. You can get like a 2007, 2008, 2009. 2010, well, you can go up to the facelift. I think it was in 12 or 13.
Yes.
And you can get that older generation car. You can tune it, stage 3, whatever it may be, put 750 in it, and that thing is a beast. It is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you're a petrol head, that's like, and like you like some of these like Japanese style cars, that's the way to do it, right?
Yes, this is the guy's car. This is all of the boys love it.
And their girls will be like, oh, he drives a Nissan? Like, yeah, he drives a Nissan.
You got to ride before you judge. But yeah, this is also becoming a really good investment car. You got to buy it well, though. You got to make sure that you buy it from the source, not from a third party, because then you can get a really good price for it. And actually, you can resell it immediately for a profit.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd
rather drive it for a couple of years first.
Yeah, me too.
But the thing is, you won't lose money, really, on a Japanese spec R34, R35 Skyline, or even the NSXs. I mean, you get the old NSX, you can get the new NSX with that complicated hybrid drivetrain, electric, turbo, whatever. But it's not a bad car. I think it's overpriced. I got to be honest. But there is scarcity in it. Not many people bought that puppy. Mm-hmm. The Skyline, I think, was dying until Carlos Ghosn basically brought it all back with his vision. Rest in peace, Carlos Ghosn, man. That dude, what a legend. I had dinner in an Italian restaurant in, I'll give you the name, Mariamonti. It's in Nishi Azabu Crossing.
Yeah.
In Tokyo. The week before, Carlos Ghosn put himself in a tuba box and shipped himself up.
I heard it was a coffin.
No, it was a musical instrument box.
Really?
Yeah, and two guys from Boston, a father and son, smuggled them out.
Man.
Yeah, I'll go Boston.
Man.
But the thing is, like, I have a picture, which I'll blur out. It was a client dinner, but you can see Carlos in the background having dinner with his daughter.
Was that the last dinner before the box?
It literally happened that weekend.
Man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine he's having dinner and thinking, I'm going to get smuggled out of Japan?
Yeah. Amazing. I should have given the guy a hug. Yeah. I'm a huge Carlos Ghosn fan.
He's happy now. He's happy. He's in a good place.
So is what it is. I mean, I talked to one of my boys who worked for Carlos directly. And
Right.
I saw him like a couple weeks after, and I was like, "Oh, dude, Carlos, man, they did him wrong because he's a foreigner." He goes, "No, he's guilty." And I was like, "What?" Yeah. Anyway,
There's two sides to each story.
Carlos, I'm still a fan. I don't care if you did it. I don't care. You turned the Nissan around, and look what happened to Nissan when you left.
Yeah.
That's the only problem with Nissan. Everyone here in the UAE drives Nissan Patrols, and I got to be honest, I can't get my head around it.
Right?
Nissan is not loved in Japan. Toyota is loved. Toyota is 1, 2, 3,
Right.
and then it's probably Honda.
Right.
Then it's Nissan. I mean, honestly, then it's probably Hino, or it's like, one of these other truck manufacturers. Like, Nissan is not loved. It's a dying car breed.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's just not. I mean, they make a great van called the Nissan Algrad, but it's really Toyota over everything in Japan.
Right.
Let's swing back, after talking about the Japanese cars, let's swing back and talk about the tea and crumpets version of cars in England. Good night. No, I'm just kidding. That's blasphemy. I'm sorry. But yeah, the English cars. So all English cars, I mean, you got the Bentley, the Rolls. I mean, I love Land Rover. I talked to you before I bought my AMG that I was like, oh, I want a Defender, I want a V8. But I just thought the price was wrong for what you get, and there's a lot of bugs in it right now. But, I think the car maker that stands out that has one car, I still see it, and my jaw drops. And it was from 2008 to 2012, and that's the Aston Martin Casino Royale TS. I mean, James Bond, man.
Yes.
James Bond. I mean, that is a sick car.
That's my second favorite car, I think, in my top 3 cars ever.
I think so, me too.
Yeah.
The sound of it's just insane. And you can get them right now, not for too much money. I mean, I'd say probably around, I got to look it up. I'll put it on the screen, but I want to say around 125 grand. And I think that's legit. It's such an amazing car for what you get. And it's beautiful. That car will be it was a classic the day it was made.
Yes.
And I don't say that often about cars.
Yes.
But it's so special.
Yep.
Just the way the DBS is written on the back right of the car. It's just amazing.
It's a beautiful design. I think some of the cars that like I said, the Testarossa is a beautiful design.
For sure.
The Jaguar E-Type is a beautiful design. The DPS is a beautiful design. So, that car is a good car to buy, regardless of appreciation.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful car to have, and I don't see any depreciation happening anytime soon. So,
I don't either. And I think these are all the cars we mentioned today are cars that you can buy, get some miles on, and you're not losing money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, the engine in the DBS is just out of this world. It sounds so amazing. It sounds so angry. For such a beautiful car to sound so angry, I love the juxtaposition.
Yeah.
So for me, that's something that I look at. I look at something that my eyes say one thing, but my ears are telling me something completely different. And that's what I can't veer away from the DPS.
Yeah. I think from England, the DPS, this Aston Martin, and the other car that I really love is the Rolls-Royce Phantom. These two.
Timeless,
Yeah, they're just
beautiful.
amazing, beautiful pieces of art. Original, very original, not a copy of anything. Hand built. They represent the culture. They represent England.
The refinement.
So these are great cars. And I would say also the Rolls-Royce Phantom is a good investment car right now, especially the coupe. I would say just the coupe.
Yeah.
Not even, I wouldn't say the drop.
What are they going for about?
Right now, you can get them for $250,000 to $300,000.
Not cheap, right? But
Not
it'll
cheap,
appreciate.
but yes, they're definitely. If it's a low kilometers, just leave it. Take care of the car and maybe drive it a little bit, but the price is going to go up.
Just roll down the window and be like, "Pardon me, sir. Do you have any grape pump?" Like that's what I would do. I would do that if I had a Rolls Royce in the States. I would just be asking every mofo for grape
The
pump.
whole accent changes, right?
Pardon me, sir. Would you happen to have any grape pump? Do you remember those commercials?
What's a great pump?
Grape Poupon is a type of mustard, and there was these commercials back in the day. Maybe I'll run a clip of that too.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon? But of course. Grey Poupon. It even has wine.
It was one of the funniest kind of commercials, and like when I was a kid, I just would always ask people for Grey Poupon. Anyway, it's stupid, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I want to also bring up McLaren because they're doing so well in F1 right now, and you know, I think of like all the cars. What started it off? Like, obviously, the F1 is amazing. That's a $20 million car. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's the guy's name? Gordon Thompson.
Yeah.
Is that the guy who made it?
Gordo.
Gordo. But yeah, he made the F1, man. The middle seater, three-seater driver in the middle.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it's a cool car. Isn't my favorite car? No, I'd rather have a 458 Special if I'm being really honest. But I do dig that car. But the car that really started it all off for McLaren and making them profitable in the car department and coming out with some of these like bangers, like the 745 or the 765?
765. 765 LT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like one of the fastest ones around the track, right? So like, you know, they've had some the 720S, which I dig, man. I think that's the most beautiful McLaren, really, outside of maybe the P1, which is dope. But yeah, I mean, I think it's the MP4-12C, which is that's what put them back on the map. And I can't think that they're too expensive. It's kind of like a Lambo Gallardo.
No, they're not expensive. They're not expensive at all. You can find them for, I mean, $60,000.
The problem with those cars is that they weren't dependable. They fell apart.
That's it.
It didn't work. But honestly, like, you get one, and I'm telling you, just drive the shit out of it. The more you drive a car, the better it will be.
It's true, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely true. A lot of people
true.
just get these cars and they sit them in, put them in the garage, and they have problem after problem after problem. If you're out there putting this thing into corners, like, you know, oversteer, whatever, you're hitting the gas, you're peeling it out, and you go, the car will actually thank you for it. Like, it just, I've always found that to be true.
You know, it's not the kilometers that mostly kind of determine the quality, the condition of the car, but it's the user. It's how you drive your car. What do you do inside of your car when you're driving it? Do you eat? Do you smoke?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you a clean driver? Do you accelerate? Do you hit the brake aggressively? All of these things kind of tell you what's the condition of the car. It's not just the kilometers.
Yeah. So yeah, man, just to kind of wrap it up, you can save a lot of money by going, if you have a car on your radar you really like, you can save money by looking for that car elsewhere. You don't have to just look in your home area. You can use Cars, which is a logistics company that actually ships cars.
That's right.
For reasonable price.
Yes.
You know, you got to vet these cars out. You've got to look at like how they were treated, like you were talking about before, using companies like SBX, using yourself or you know, other kind of trusted counterparts to really help you handle all the transport, customs, and hidden costs that are associated with getting these unbelievable investments. And yes, they are investments. They're not just wealth killers, like I said before. These things can appreciate in value, and they can also not lose you money, and while you still put a smile on your face. Now, if you're not a petrol head, you know, watch a different video. I'll do a video on wine coming up, on all my favorite bottles of wine, my favorite bottles of Japanese whiskey. I mean, I went to Nobu last night and I bought a highball, and it cost me 830 dirhams. So I didn't know what it cost. I just asked for a Yamazaki 12 highball. In Japan, that's, you know, a $30 drink.
No way.
It cost me $220.
No way.
For one drink. A Yamazaki 12, not 18.
That's crazy.
I like literally talked about it with my wife this morning. So yeah, basically you need to know your costs. Always know what's going on. So Alaa, thanks so much, man.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I really appreciate looking at all these things. Maybe we can do another video about like future classics.
Sure. I'll be more than
like 2025 and all that different stuff. But you know, I guess in that whole video, what would I buy if I had 150K? I'd probably go with a manually gated 360 Modena. Like, I think you buy that and you're going to be making money. You put some miles on it, you're still making money. So,
Absolutely. I would second that. I'd say that that's a great car to buy and invest in right now.
I mean, essentially, you're getting Ferrari soul at a discount.
Yes.
So, like, I just...
Yep.
And it's a soul that they haven't even found in their current lineup of cars. So I would say, like, you're probably winning. But
yeah.
Hey, man, thanks so much for coming by. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Habibi.
Hopefully we can do this again and try to, like, you know, talk about other opportunities in the car market and different things. And viewers, I know that I'm not talking about slinging stocks again, but I hope you found this video useful. Remember, kindness is the rent we pay on earth, so do something nice for someone. See you in the next one.